We're live.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi.
So happy to be back with a guest,
Yes.
a very esteemed guest. As always, we'll let some people filter in to join, to sign on, to log on. Joanne,
Oh,
always
you
lead
want
us
me to
with
say
the.
my signature line?
I love it. Yeah, I can't say it. I feel like you have to.
All right. Where's everybody calling in from? Although, Jane, I feel like I need your late night radio talk show host microphone to like really make that shine.
Sorry, I can't see the chat or anything. Or am I supposed to be able to see people's faces too?
No, it'll just be comments. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can't see it. Oh, I have to connect to my YouTube account. Is that?
No, you should be able to see comments on the right. And I'll be able to bring them up on the screen for us. I'll do some technical steering. So if there's a comment or a question, I'll be able to add it to our screen, and you'll be able to see it on this main screen that we're on right now.
Yeah, and Jared, it looks like I'm not logged in, so you're going to have to be the pusher of the button to get the comments up on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no problem. Stoked to be here. There you go.
Oh, I know. This is so nice. So Jared and Jane, you've been working together for about 6 months now. How long have you been at Shopify?
Yeah, coming up on just over 6 months, I think. I joined Jane there. Jane, you are a manager, a leader, or a longtime veteran recruiter at Shopify. You, I referred to you as the Oracle to someone the other day. When they asked me,
wow. Oh, wow.
They asked me a question and I said, I'm not too sure, but I know who knows the answer. It's the Oracle, Jane. She will know.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a long time. They say, sometimes 1 year at Shopify is like 10 years, sometimes at other companies. So I'm like 100 years.
100 years in recruitment?
Years. Yeah. Wow. And you were what we call in the business a boomerang, right? So you were there before and then you came back.
Yeah.
What was it like being back the second time? Was it just like, oh my gosh, this feels like home, it's so familiar, or had a lot of things changed?
I think a lot of things had changed, but a lot of the like fundamentals remain the same.
Yeah.
That culture is still there. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to address, like, I can't like type in the chat, but I just wanted to say like hi to the people that are commenting. I don't know how to or why I can't type in it, but I can't.
We can't. We're not logged in. So
I see. Okay. But we can speak to these people are on here real time. We can speak to them in real time. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining so far. Daniel. Hey Daniel, product designer. Daniel works on a lot of interesting B2B kind of technical stuff. Awesome. I'm excited to pick your brain, Jane, because you know so much about recruiting. You've worked on this in-house side of recruitment for many years, and I think there's a lot of people that still find it a little bit of a mystery, what goes on the inside and how companies hire. You've hired for a big range of roles. Last few years, though, it's been definitely more R&D stuff. But yeah, what are some of the roles that you've hired for over the years?
Yeah, I think I've touched most areas of Shopify. I started out doing executive search, actually. So that's like a mixed bag anywhere, like engineering leaders, design leaders, but also like, when GDPR was coming out, we had to hire like a VP of legal for this like mysterious privacy law that we hadn't discovered yet. A lot of, I think, engineering managers, machine learning, a little bit of brand. So a little bit of everything. Finance.
Wow.
Wow.
Last few years, I feel like it's been heavy product and design as well for yourself.
So when I returned to Shopify in August 2024, I took on, they did a little bait and switch on me. They were like, oh, you can be an IC and just recruit. And then a few weeks after I got back, they were like, oh, by the way, here's your team. So you're now responsible for product and product management and product design and brand design hiring. But I think that's kind of a good, just saying yes to stuff when it comes up is just like a great way to like maybe unintentionally build your career trajectory a bit and get a bunch of range. It's just like, hey, here's a gap. I'll do this. And then the kind of byproduct is a cool trajectory, which I've gotten. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Was that your first time managing people, Jane?
No, I used to be, I was a manager here in my first round, and as well as at the startup that I worked at, Gadget.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Oh, interesting. So you're looking forward to kind of just like doing the behind the scenes thing and just like chill out a little bit. And it's like, nope, you're good at this. We're going to have you do that.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I like to, hopefully people like reporting to me. So I'm like, okay, whatever you need to do, get it done.
Yeah. Awesome.
I love it. Okay. Well, look, I'm sure people are still signing on and still joining and things like that. We'll say it up front. We always love the questions, love people to ask anything that they're curious about. I know, Jane, you love more than anything to share knowledge, anything about recruitment, about hiring, about what goes on the inside when you apply to a company like Shopify, or how does Shopify think about the talent that it wants to hire and go after them, all these sorts of things. We're really grateful that you're here to like lend that knowledge today. So definitely encourage anyone, if you've got questions or got things that you're curious about, I promise you there's probably someone else with the same question. So ask them. This is a space to like share, to get access to someone like Jane, which I've seen your calendar some days. It can be hard to get access to you. So this is, really grateful to have you here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. And I hope it's valuable time for everyone on the call. And I'm hoping, like, even if you can get 2 or 3 like actionable things or insights that you get that you can kind of apply after this call, like into your job search. That's what I hope to give you.
Love that. Many of our audience are often in the design space. Majority of our people are designers. So I guess we'll try to stay down that lane, but I know so many of the tips that you have will apply to other things outside of that. One thing I guess that we can kick off with, and again, as questions roll through, I'll grab them, but I think that, Jane, you're such an expert at finding talent in not so obvious places. And I think it's worth talking about that a little bit, because maybe designers don't think about that enough, about how just by putting themselves out there, they can actually be found and show up. I think you're an expert at finding people on Twitter, for example, or X. What do we even call it?
Right. The artist formerly known as X.
Yeah.
I think we're lucky at Shopify, and I think most companies that this group would probably be wanting to work for, we don't stress on like specific like educational backgrounds or courses that you must have taken. Like, we love folks that are like self-taught as well, and oftentimes those folks that are self-taught or like building in the open. And so I think, Twitter is a good place. I really have been enjoying researching with LLMs as well. Usually like the more advanced ones, I'll use like Grok Heavy, or I'll use I'll use GPT. I think 5.5 is out now, and I'm using that. But mainly my point is that we can't discover you if there's nothing online to search for. And so I think, and then another thing too is people are like, well, I need to have this polished work, or I have to have this like final product before I put it out online. But what I'm equally as interested in is like all of the messy bits and like the process that it kind of took to get you there. So I would say, building in the open and allowing yourself to be like discoverable online. Like, I found many people through kind of non-traditional methods, like outside of LinkedIn and stuff like that using.
Yeah. And I love that, because as you said, it's, if you're finding, for example, a little design or an interaction that someone has shared on Twitter, you're not seeing the companies that they've worked at. You're not seeing, whether they've got a particular degree or not. The work is just doing the talking, and that's what catches your eye. And that is a reason to lean in, versus like trying to look at, have you worked at these particular companies first? Or
it's just something to get recruiters to like look a little bit deeper. It's like it's like the hook.
Yeah. That little piece of work can hook someone in and could spark that conversation that you want to have.
Mm-hmm. This is a recruiter. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, also, I can tell people there's a lot of demand right now in the market for designers with like some coding and like engineering chops. Like over half of Shopify's designers are shipping code to production now. All of our designers go through engineering onboarding whenever they're hired. And so I'm also looking for those builds, like those, those snippets on Twitter too. It's like, is this person kind of, it doesn't have to be fully like a design engineer, but how are they starting to dabble? And here's how I can tell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like if a designer works with Claude Code, is that usually a good signal for you? Like, is that becoming more and more de rigueur?
Yeah, that's like, I feel like it's becoming more and more common. People have their different tools of choice, but we're not fussed on like which ones people are using. It's like, as long as you're at the cutting edge, you're tinkering, you're keeping up with the zeitgeist, you're keeping up with like the design, like trends and how the persona is like changing. And that's kind of what we're looking for. And this isn't unique to design. This is like across all of tech right now.
Yeah. That's such a good word. Tinkering. I feel like I hear so many managers and leaders at Shopify talk about it. You've mentioned it just now, like people that have a natural curiosity and want to experiment and tinker, and then sharing that stuff out loud, that can be the kind of stuff that captures the attention of a recruiter like yourself. And ultimately that person can be getting in the door and speaking to a company like Shopify.
Yeah, it's just it's the curiosity and like engagement piece. And I think, and that's true internally too, like even some of our tinkering projects, like I think of a long time ago, I don't know who's familiar with our BFCM globe, but we have this like visualization that we show from Black Friday to Cyber Monday of all of our transactions that are happening across the world. And that was built out like many years ago as like a Hack Days project. And now we put it on the Vegas sphere every year. So we want to, we provide that environment internally. And so we're looking for those qualities externally. It's like, does this person show past evidence of like, genuine curiosity, engagement, tinkering? And it's like, none of it has to be perfect. It's like, oh, I built this weird thing. Did I learn something? Okay, that's the win then.
Yeah. I was thinking about this actually this morning, about having curiosity for new technology. And I think even for people that don't have natural curiosity for it right now, I think you can build that. Like I was thinking about, so I was pre-med in college, which is so funny to think of me as a doctor. Like, okay, my handwriting is bad, but other than that,
qualified.
Right? It's like then organic chemistry is like one of those weeder classes that you take that everybody hates. And when I took it alongside 5 other classes, I hated it because it was super hard. And then I took my second semester during summer school when all I needed to learn was it. And it got really interesting because all I was focusing on was it. And so I got to memorize things and like delve deeper. And then I actually did create a natural curiosity when really I was very resistant to it at first. So I feel like for people out there, maybe people that are, kind of like set in their ways, or it's like they've done things a certain way for so long. Like, I think there's a way to just kind of formulate that curiosity within yourself just by learning more and more about it.
Yeah.
If you don't change, nothing's going to change. And I think here it's like we go like a lot of the mantra. It's like how you do anything is how you do everything. So I would encourage, it's like, if you can build that genuine curiosity like within yourself, like now's the time to do it.
Yeah,
totally.
Right.
I will say too, I'm sure you can speak to this, Jane, of like in interview processes, like portfolio presentations and this kind of classic round that designers will almost always go through, seeing a lot more weight or excitement about maybe an individual's side project being included in that presentation as well. They've got their company work, they've maybe got these features that they shipped and things like that. And then they've got this curiosity and this thing they built on the side. It was an app to manage the services at home or whatever it might be. I feel like our team, I've seen them get so excited about that kind of work recently. And that didn't happen for a long time, I don't feel.
No, I think, I've kind of seen the shift just generally. Like before, it's like portfolios, like they would be static. It would be like, a bunch of case studies, and like you would, you'd have to kind of, you're setting the context. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. This is just the way that portfolios had been done before.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm setting the context, I'm defining the problem, I'm doing the research, here's the outcome, here are the variations. But like now I feel like there's more demand on both us as recruiters as well, demand from us as recruiters as well as hiring managers to like show me the work. It's like the work should be at the forefront, not all of the context setting. It's like we can dig in later if we want to dig into additional context. And then it's like also show me how your work is like interacted with. Maybe that's like a video so I can see how people kind of like click through the material, or maybe it's something that I can do myself.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
And then also, the side projects are always like helpful. It's just, again, because I hear again, a lot of people are like, well, tooling is very restricted at my company, or I'm not encouraged to use it, or maybe my company, we don't have the resources, or any of those things. It's like, okay, well, there's still, like, to me, I'm like, that's fine, but you're not a product of that environment. You have the autonomy to go out and like try things yourself, even on free accounts. It's like, show us what you can do.
Just try it. Yeah. It's funny. I wrote down this morning, this case study could have been a prototype. That all like, this meeting could have been an email.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
Sometimes when you get this case study and it's dense and it's someone's trying to explain all these things and pack all this research in, I'm like, if you had just shown me this prototype of this thing in action, doing exactly what you're trying to explain to me, I would have had it like instantly. And I would go, oh, great. Now I'm trying to read all this and I'm skimming because I'm a recruiter and that's what I do. But I'm not skimming the right things. I'm missing things. So,
It says 1,000 words. And Jane, when you're looking at portfolios, like if people have done side projects using AI, but then they have their main projects, or maybe they're not able to use AI because of restrictions, where do you want to see the AI project ideally? Like, do you want to see that up front and center, even though it's not produced work? Or where do you want to see it?
Not necessarily. I don't think I'm super fussed on like where it sits. I think it's just if I can get a sense of your aesthetic, or like what you think is beautiful by looking at your portfolio, like that's what I really want to see at first. It's like it's an expression and an extension of you. So make it as such. And it's like, I love to see all kinds of ranges of work, old work, new work, work that's shipped, work that hasn't, something crazy. Like what I don't want to see is like a wall of text trying to context build.
Like show me the money like up front. And so it's kind of like, see, like, I love that too. Like I want to see the hero image and then maybe some context, right? But like, what did you actually design?
Yeah. It hooks you in. It gives you a reason to stick around a bit longer. I thought Leslie had an interesting point that I'll just bring up here. Love that you're discovering talent less formal ways. It also feels more interesting and less energy draining than all resumes and folios. Finding talent on something like Twitter and seeing some of that just beautiful, simple little pieces of work can be really helpful. But I thought, Jane, you could still also speak to like people still do apply to a company like Shopify and they still come through that funnel that way. They get viewed and some get hired if they're great. So it's like that's still a viable path for people if they ultimately go that way too, right?
Yeah, applications are still a viable path for sure.
Yeah, it's a huge part.
Actually, on that tip, like what would you say to people? Because I feel like so many designers say, I feel like I'm sending out my stuff to black holes. Like I never hear anything back, or I'll do the quick apply on LinkedIn and I'm doing it 100 times a week. Do you have some advice for people that just feel like their stuff is just going into nothing? Like, is there any sort of follow-up they should be doing, or any other sorts of tips or tricks to make sure that they are getting seen by a real person?
Yeah, I think I can only speak to Shopify's recruitment process and how we work here. I can't, we do try to follow up with every candidate, whether we're going to move forward or not. Like we will send emails letting people know that like now is not the right time. But I think there's a misconception. I think that that the ATS is doing a lot of like AI like screening, or like there's a bot screening, or I must how I must amend my resume for the bot to like get the right keywords or do the right things. And for at Shopify, at least, I'm again only speaking for us, but that's more of like a myth. Like there are humans reviewing the resumes and the portfolios, and honestly, like we can tell. You had mentioned, Joanne, just a number like 100 times 100 a week. Like we can tell with those those applications, it's just like low effort. And then I also want to say with that caveat that I do understand that like the market is tough and like people need to be applying at volume. I understand that, but that's just sometimes when things are being like rushed through, or maybe there's not a lot of effort in our like screener questions, or if you're using AI to answer or assist you with some of the screener questions, it's like, oh, like they're leaving the prompt in the answer. And when I say it's like the attention to detail piece, and it's like we apply tons and tons and tons of scrutiny to our applicant funnel because the volume is so high.
Yeah.
Like I always say, I'm like, if I had unlimited hours in the day, I would interview everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone, because it's like people present differently. People don't know how to like showcase, but it's just like we don't have enough time in the day. So therefore the finalists end up like there's just so few of them. And it's the ones where we have been able to see the effort, both in the application and then in the past like work history.
Yeah.
Great. And when you say effort, how does that actually show up? Are they being very specific in their answers, like very thoughtful? It's very like Shopify based, or what do you mean by that exactly?
Yeah, it doesn't, not necessarily Shopify based. It's just like what actually shipped. Like, and then we can tell also when people have like used LLMs to like generate answers, like I said, and then with no human editing after, it's just like I generated this, I'm just going to copy paste it in. It's like we can tell, and it's like kind of effort in, effort out. We can't reply to all of that. So yeah, I would say thoughtful answers, really, really impact oriented. Like what work shipped, and like what was the impact of that work, and what was your specific role in that impact too? Because I find oftentimes it's hard for us in resumes to tell what your specific role and impact was in the space where you're kind of describing your work experience.
Yeah.
I will say some other inside baseball. I feel like for Shopify a little bit. So very soon we're going to be running the apprentice design program, right? Which is a 1 year design program for early stage career designers. There is like a form to fill out, right? And there's a handful of questions on that form about, who you are, some of your work, somewhat basic stuff, but they're still form fields. And it does show up immediately those that submit that don't fill that stuff out. And I feel like our team really just don't respond. It's very hard to win someone over when you haven't even really put the effort into the application at all. Yeah. And so it almost becomes a disqualifier of like, you haven't actually filled really, people just put a dash or just, copy pasted the same answer. I don't know, whatever it might be, but it's such low effort that it's impossible for the team to go, oh, we should meet this person. Like, it's sort of like, are you a
clue of like what they're going to be like on the
job? Are you even interested in us?
Like, why would they suddenly be the superstar on board, right?
Totally. Yeah. So it really does, it stands out, I think, when you just put a little bit of that effort in there. It really does make the difference. But that's such an interesting point, Jane, that like, everyone is reviewed by a human still.
Yeah, we do look at the work.
Yeah. It's I don't think there's a bot yet that can assess portfolios really. Like, not very well. I feel like we covered
I
some.
have a recruiter question, actually, James.
Okay.
Something you said before, because I know we have another talent person on here, and there's maybe some more talent people watching. But
Yeah.
when you say that you use LLMs and Grok to find people in non-traditional places, how do you actually use those tools? Like, what's the process of that?
Oh, just like I'll just give it a prompt and tell it to do deep research and
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I think it's just like you have to do some of the research like upfront. What I like to do is like I like to use like sources like, let's say, I don't know, like Crunchbase, who went through just like a big round of like funding, like who were their design like founding designers, or like, you know, what were the most successful, like what was the most successful era of like Uber. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say this year to this year. Okay, then find me the top designers at Uber that worked here from like this year to this year that were in this level or like above. So it does take some time to do your like business and like market research up front. Again, you can use an LLM to do that too, but getting the prompt right and doing that market research up front will yield much better and like more specific answers.
It's like it's like Boolean on steroids.
Yeah, it's natural language Boolean.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God for that. Boolean was like so alien language. It was terrible.
And bracket, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say another area just on that lastly, Joanne, is like, you know, you can search something like Twitter for just like, show me designers in New York City who have shared an example of interaction design, and maybe you could reference a couple similar to this or this in the last 6 months. You know, it could be as simple as that, and it's going to return a series of results of like, hey, these designers have shared something similar to what you showed me, and they seem to be in New York. And so that's just finding just people that are just sharing their work. It's regardless of maybe a company that they worked at or something like that. Sometimes it's like, I want to look for people from specific areas and companies, and sometimes I just want to try and let the work lead me. Show me just the most beautiful thing it is, and then let's work backwards from there.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's great.
We just hired a super senior product designer with a resume of like companies that are not like household names or like top. I think there's another misconception. It's like, oh, I have to have had experience at these places or anything. But he was just building showing what he built online. He just had a history of like startups, founding designer roles from companies that we had never heard of, and maybe would have like, I don't know, maybe if he had presented us a resume, we might have passed over it. I have no idea. But why we didn't is because we could see the evidence of the work and we were like, holy shit, this looks amazing. Let's like, this person is like, we have to talk to them.
Yeah.
Wow, great. And I feel like founding designers in particular are just such a special breed of person.
Yeah.
They have to go in 0 to 1, like build the processes, be the design team. It's a huge amount of responsibility, and they have to have so much motivation and chutzpah and just everything. It's
and like no design system to rely on, and it's cool.
Their stamp on it. I thought this was a good question. No bias, Gemma, also a fellow design recruiter. But what qualities are becoming more important in designers than they were a few years ago beyond strong craft? I feel like we touched on some of that with like the builder and the AI side of things. I think that's really becoming prominent. But yeah, I'm sure you can imagine what it was like hiring a designer for Shopify 5 years ago versus today.
Yeah, I think again, the code, I don't know if technical capability or like ability to ship code, maybe that's the craft piece that you were saying, Gemma, but otherwise I think the lines are blurring more and more between like product management, engineering, and design, and like kind of gone are the days where design like throws something over the fence to eng, and it's like it's silos. And I think there's ability to, or like has shown past history of being able to work with stakeholders like right from the point where like a product is ideated and have a say in that ideation at the very, very beginning. all the way through to the end. And then I also think work where we've never experienced in tech, I think like more change and a bit of thrash than we are right now. So it's like, what is true today might not be true tomorrow. Whereas before it's like we could comfortably build like, a 3, 6 or 12 month roadmap. And we're like, okay, here's kind of where we're headed. Those days, at least for now, are gone. And so someone who can really just like adapt to the changing tides like every day. So like outside of craft, I just feel like that like adaptability and like the kind of fluid intelligence piece where it's like, oh, new information's presented to me. Now I have to change direction. And like, that's just a part of it now. So people who can kind of roll with it, I think it's another strong quality we look for.
Yeah. I love that.
Are there particular questions you asked to gauge adaptability? Like, is it like, did you pivot or did you have to learn something quickly or?
Well, Shopify is a unique kind of interview to assess for that type of stuff. Like, so for me, again, speaking personally, I would never maybe like ask like a behavioral question related to adaptability, because anyone could say like, oh, sure, I'm adaptable here. Like, yeah. So what I'm actually looking for is like past evidence of adaptability. And it doesn't even need to necessarily have been at like work. It could be other school experience, life experience, how you make decisions. So it's more, we will figure out and how to determine that adaptability through like someone's recount of their kind of career history or work experience.
I always appreciate that. I think and maybe designers get so fixated on the work and their resume or something like that, and it's like there's so many other things about a person that makes them really stand out as well. People that have moved countries, moved states, changing roles, like just overcoming challenges. I think it all adds up and stacks up as well. I definitely appreciate that. It's really part of the package to hire a designer that can roll with those punches as well.
Yeah. You know what I've been seeing a lot? I'm curious if you guys are seeing this too on that tip. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of designers who will send me their resume that only have their product design experience on it. And maybe it goes back 5 or 6 years. But then when I look on their LinkedIn, they actually have like 10 years of work experience or more. But maybe they started as a graphic designer, or maybe they tried their hand at being a PM for a while, or they have this really rich background, or maybe they were in something that isn't super even what you think to be related. Like maybe they were in fashion design, or maybe something totally different, right? But I always tell people, I mean, I know some people do it for ageism reasons, or like, I don't want to like show stuff that's too far back. I get that. But I think if someone's like, if it's like going 10 years back and you have all this like just great stuff that you've come out of, like, to me, I'm curious what your takes are on this, but to me, that's just like, but you have this wealth of experience. You have life experience, right? So you're going to act differently on the job with conflict because you just have more wisdom, but you also have so many different perspectives that you come with, like outside of design. And I feel like people are afraid to show that sometimes, but I personally really like to see it. But what's your guys' take on that?
Yeah, I would say the more context, the better on your work history, like regardless of the field. Like even whenever I interview people, I start my interviews at their first part-time job. If they worked in high school, or they worked in through like post-secondary, if they went, or if they had some, it's like, what was your first job ever? First, it's like a great opener, and it doesn't need to be related at all. But then it's like you get people talking, and it's like then I can start to build the whole persona of the person, and not just like the last few years of experience. So I would definitely default to like listing all of your work experience, even if it may be unrelated. It's not going to work against you.
No, I find it curious. They can be nice conversation topics sometimes too, as they come up, or you had a background in fashion, or what was the turning point for you going from graphic to product design? Or I don't know to ask those questions if I don't see like a glimmer of it somewhere in the evidence there. So I welcome it. I just think it makes people interesting. It doesn't, I do feel like a lot of this comes after their work has already like given you some sort of signal.
Yes.
That's the tricky part. You're probably not having too deep a conversation with them if they haven't given you some great work. As Jane said, it would be nice to interview every single person,
Mhm.
but you got to start somewhere with doing some screening.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you guys do that. I think that's, I love the idea of like starting with like their first ever job. Cause it could be like, I dressed up like a chicken outside of like, a chicken restaurant, but it's like, but it gets them off script, right? It's like, I feel like people have this, they're practiced at their interviewing and they've got these like stock answers that they give, which is fine. I mean, I think it's great to know your story, but just something that like gets them out of their script. And it's like, oh, now we're real people, we're having a real conversation now. Like that can just feel so rich, and it just makes it just more personable and just more real,
Yeah, I think the authenticity piece, I think, is like quite important here at Shopify. Like, again, companies will interview different ways, and sometimes you will be faced as a candidate with a bunch of canned interview questions, and you have to adapt to that. That's just not that's not our approach. It's not the right or wrong approach. It's just not what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask another question just around like, if anything comes to mind, I'm putting you on the spot, Jane, as well, of just like areas where people have gone wrong with you, designers that have maybe getting through the process and I don't know, it ultimately hasn't worked out for them. And maybe it's, showing really dated work, or, I don't know, I'm opposed to AI tools, or something. Something's gone wrong for them through the process and it hasn't worked out. And it's like, okay, what are things for people to be aware of sometimes as well?
Yeah, the opposition of AI, again, it's like whatever your take, it's just not going to work here, because like that's the direction that we're going in. So it's like, and then it's also, I think of we like, it's like we're assessing your fit as much as you're assessing ours, and like this just might not be like a good environment if you have that. I think for people who can't, like, I think I have a lot of interviews. We had talked about the authenticity, and like I have some questions that I want to ask, but people are unable to get off their interview script. So they have an idea in their head what they think is important for me to hear from them, as opposed to just answering the questions that I want to know. So I call that like forcing an impression. So it's like they want to get these points across. I get it. They want to show me like the value of their experience, but like let me discover that through my avenues, as opposed to kind of steamrolling and just getting all those points. So I think that's a huge one. And then I think in terms of portfolio reviews and stuff, like we really at Shopify like to see people who can defend the decisions that they've made and speak to the design decisions. And I think sometimes it's like the panelists, like the interviewers, will say things like, well, why didn't you do it this way, or why didn't you do it that way? And then the candidate will perceive that as like, oh, well, maybe my work was done the wrong way. It's like, no, we want to have the debate and allow you a chance to like articulate your thought process and defend and explain the answers and the choices that you made. Like, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. That's these are things within any individual's control too, right? Especially the authenticity piece, right? Like sort of turning up and having that script. Okay, maybe it's helpful, but it's not at a certain point. Yeah, I wonder what the advice to people there is like, just relax. It's okay. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be in terms of like your personality and your fit and some of that culture. It's really a two-way street. And that's what both sides are looking for.
Yeah. And it's a tough thing to balance too, because it's like people need that, people are applying to jobs, they need to interview, they need to work, they need to pay their bills. And it's like, I totally get it, but it's just like, you get on those calls and just really kind of try to, like, yes, there's a lot riding on it for you. And I really hear and like respect that, but just try to go with the flow. Or if you're nervous, just say it. So many people sometimes they're like, oh, I'm really nervous for this call. And then it's like the complete trajectory changed because it's just like put it out there and then relax. It's like and the recruiters, we get it. Like, so,
it's not a test necessarily. It's not like this is an exam. You have to, answer these questions to, That's a good
And the more you feel that way, like the worse you're going to do. Because being your authentic self. Like fear is going to turn off your prefrontal cortex and all your higher thinking. I remember there was a VP of design that I'm friendly with, and he went through the ringer, just interviewing for all these director level, VP level roles. And they're putting him through design tests at that level. I mean, just like, really, it was kind of the low point of the market. And finally, when he got his current job, he was just like, I just didn't give a shit anymore. Like, he just approached the interview where he's just like, what are you going to do for me?
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm giving up. Like, I'm going to stop the horse and pony show. And like, what are you going to do for me? And that's the job that he got. Because, and not that he was a dick about it, but he was just like, this is a two-way street of evaluation.
Authentic.
Right. And so it's like he's showing his own self-worth and his own worth to the company too. So it just changed the timbre of the entire conversation and interview process.
Yeah.
So.
Can make a difference. Yeah. Cheers to Kelly here, a career pivoter, is finding it promising that you feel this way around interviews and things like that.
Oh, what discipline are you going to? I'm assuming you're moving into design, but where were you before? I'm curious. And I can't type to you, so I hope you answer.
Sorry about that.
Online. Yeah.
We're limited in our technical capabilities.
No, I should have signed or created an account or signed in. That's my bad.
All good.
There's another question we got earlier that I also wanted. I think we need a follow-up question to her as well, but from Mega. Mega asked, how do you think about hiring for design from a mobile or native lens, iOS and Android? I'm not sure if I totally understand that question. If you guys do, go for it. But I'm thinking, like, do you mean like, are you discoverable on mobile, or you're actually like more of a mobile designer and you're looking for a role that's more
That's
mobile?
how I'm taking it. That Mega's a mobile designer, I guess, and how Shopify or how you look for mobile designers as well.
Yeah, I saw that question pop up earlier, but I was struggling to think of anything that would have be distinctive or different than what we've already talked about. Like, a design is design, I think, like in terms of like what we're like how to showcase the work and stuff. But if there's any more specific
follow-up to it. Yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing with some teams out there, like, I mean, your work does the talking, right? You want to be discovered as a mobile designer, show predominantly mobile work, right? That's going to do the talking as well. I think what you'll find with like iOS, Android, Swift versus, SDKs and things like that, AI tooling is helping lower that barrier a lot for mobile design. Shopify, I think, is React Native maybe as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's just show the work. And I don't think you have to stress too technical on it. What I have seen that I think is blowing some minds at the moment is designers who are working on mobile ideas and concepts and actually using, say, Claude Code to build their idea in Swift UI, which is more of an Apple thing. But it allows a designer to take an idea, a static design, and actually build it into an app, which before maybe you needed an engineer to help you with that. But I just think that's amazing for designers to do that. And I would say that the slightly more technical leaning Shopify team, they love that. That's mind blowing. That's cool. So let the work do the talking always, I think. I'm going to bounce back to Kelly is moving from fashion design to UX. There you go. I love that. Yes. I've worked with a few designers who have done that pivot over the years, and have seen them like land really well in apps or companies that have some sort of fashion slant as well. Could even be e-commerce related. There you go.
Yeah. I used to rep fashion designers when I first started.
Oh, wow.
Like wovens, women's, misses, petites. It was the whole thing.
A whole different language. I'm lost.
I know. My first search I ever did was to find an illustrator for Ralph Lauren to like sketch out his ideas as he was giving ideas during his meeting. Yeah.
Wow.
It was cool. I almost placed somebody. He was a wonderful kind of interior illustrator out in Texas who was just super fascinating himself. Yeah, I know.
I feel like there's a version of that for Toby, Shopify CEO and founder now, where it's someone to prototype out his ideas very quickly. I feel like that's where the space is going now. People can kind of design at the speed of thought.
It's true. It's
which is
true.
pretty rad.
That's right. I know we had Kristen Beveridge on a few weeks ago, and she's starting her own startup. And she said that the fastest growing demographic of new founders are women in their 50s. Designers in their, like, maybe females, I think, in their 50s, but then especially for designers, because designers don't really rely on coders anymore in order to get something out the door and just get it workable. I thought that was so cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
I love that. What are some of your most memorable hires, Jane, on the design side? You'd referenced. I feel like you've had a couple, and they often stand out as like ones with big challenges behind them, and it's like the joy of making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. There's. I think for. We've. I don't know. Yeah, we've made a bunch of I think like major hires. You as well, like Jared. I think I've done a few, but not nearly as many as you. But I think maybe I could say maybe not even design hires, but I remember back when we worked in person. Now Shopify is primarily a remote company, but back when we were in person, we used to have people come to the office and like drop off resumes and stuff. And Shopify is headquartered in Ottawa, Canada. And Canada, I don't know how many Canadians are on the call, but it's like, well, obviously like love hockey. And someone had written their entire resume out in like tiny font on a hockey stick and like left the hockey stick at the front office. Or
my God.
Very cool.
Sent us like a pair of like shoes in a bag because they wanted to like get their foot in the door with their resume and stuff. It's like, things have changed so much, but it's like those people, it's like that's just, they're just some funny stories, and we're not expecting people to do that, obviously, but yeah, it's just like
those were the days.
Amazing. Did the hockey stick person get the job?
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Wow, it worked.
Yeah, it wasn't for a design role, but they did.
There's been a couple of hires I think that you've made, Jane, that I just think are worth like mentioning in terms of there are a lot of logistics behind them, whether it's like figuring out a visa for someone or relocating, or maybe getting creative on a particular package for them within reason. And I think the point of it that I'm making is that I've seen you, and this goes for many companies, I think Shopify included, is that the efforts you'll go to try and make it work for someone, if it's meant to be, and they're the right person, I feel like I've seen you find no end to like you trying to figure out how to make it happen.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of I think like this is, I mean, speaking for like executive talent, I think you're referring to, but so so like just but I think for any, it's like if the fit is there, like us as the recruiters, whether we be like in-house or otherwise, like the recruiter is kind of on your side as the candidate. And also this now is just coming to me, but like utilize them. Like if you have an interview or you're like, okay, like it's fine to ask them for like a 10-minute call or something to be like, hey, here's what I'm expecting in the portfolio review. Is this generally correct? Or like, is this directionally correct? So it's like use the recruiter to your advantage. I think at Shopify too, it's like the way that we recruit, high touch, very like human oriented, and it's like we're there to help. So so there's like things that we'll do through the interview process, obviously, to like help you on your way. And then when things get to the end, it's like if the fit is there, we will do our best to like advocate. One thing that I would say is just, again, the recruiters like on your side, like help us understand like your kind of expectations and like what it's going to take for you to maybe make a move up like as early as possible in the process, so the recruiter can kind of, so there's no surprises.
Ideally, I think that people maybe underutilize their recruiter a little bit in a process. I think they're there to be leaned on, to be trusted. Ideally, as you said, Jane, they're on your side, or there's more reasons that they want to make it happen than to not make it happen. No one wants to see you fail.
No, everybody's rooting for you. I think
Yeah.
everybody here should know is that we
Yeah.
want it to work out as recruiters, right? Like,
Yeah,
Totally.
I think, but also it's like good recruiters are like good, like holistically good recruiters are just hard to come by. Like the industry has its different reputations, whether they be accurate or not. And like there's some people that maybe have been in situations where it's like, oh, well, I didn't feel like the recruiter is like a partner,
Right.
but try to just use them and lean on them as much as you can for prep and things like that. Do your research first and come to validate your assumptions with the recruiter. Like the recruiter's not going to give you the ticket to pass the interview, but it's like they are there to help and as like a thought partner to you as you go through the process.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's that kind of fuels me to always want to have the ability to build trust with people. I want to be trustworthy and reliable for them, because I think if we get to that great spot where, maybe there is going to be an offer or some sort of negotiation, I just want to work together to get a great result. Maybe that's a signal for people. If your recruiter is trying to, show up the right way, then hopefully there's someone you can trust throughout it.
That's a great question to kind of feel back to you guys, like in terms of candidates building trust with you, or just, kind of just putting themselves in the best possible spot they can be with you guys. Like, what do you guys look for on that side? And Jane, I'll field it to you first.
Yeah.
I think just like the openness or like willingness to build that relationship. The authenticity piece, like let's like I only have so much to work with, whatever you give me. So like give me something to work with. And I think and then obviously just the same accountability that we ideally owe you is like, get back to us when you said you were going to, do what you said you were going to. And I think that's just what I look for. So like, reliability and just kind of openness to build the relationship and like have the authentic interactions. And sometimes like, the recruiters have to have a lot of difficult conversations. So just like, being able to show up for those and showing your authenticity.
Yeah. Just a trustworthy interaction, right? A good two-way street, a good healthy two-way street throughout it. I don't expect someone to land on a first call and instantly like trust and tell me everything. It's like, I got to earn a little bit of that, but I want to create that space, and then we can lean into that pretty quickly. So avenue for building that. And maybe there's red flags that come up that are a bit more obvious in those early interactions where maybe someone's really cagey, they're really withholding, especially, if they don't seem that interested in what I've got to share with them. It's like, oh, why are we here then? We don't have to do this.
Totally. And I think that interest can show up like in the conversation, but can also show up outside the conversation too, right? Like, I feel like people's cadence in getting back to me about things, if I'm saying like, here's a job, do you want to interview for it? Like, do you want to talk to me about it? Like them getting back to me that day and showing like just like motivation and a sense of urgency can really go a long way. And sometimes even, I hate to say this, it sounds kind of anal, but it's just the way it works. If there's a 24-hour lapse between like when I'm writing you and when you get back to me, but another candidate's getting back to me within hours, and you guys are, everything else being equal, like I might put my effort in the candidate who's getting back super quickly, because I know you're in it to win it and you're excited and you're interested. And, I know that I'm going to need things from you quickly. Like scheduling is actually a highly strategic process, right? Like you need to get certain things in at a certain time. So just giving those signals too, I think can be really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It speaks volumes on like how much you want to engage in that moment. I imagine there's been stories over the years, Jane, of people coming back to you who maybe when you first connected with them, it wasn't the right time, a particular candidate. And then a year later, 18 months, 2 years later, they pinged back and said, hey, which just goes to show maybe creating that good experience from the get-go. But I imagine you welcome always hearing from people no matter the time.
Yeah, that happens like a lot. Like, 2 or 3 months later is less meaningful, but people that come back, it's like, hey, here was the feedback from my shortlist interviews. it's 18 months later, like, here's how I've like addressed that stuff. And it's like, of course we'll like, you can take another app.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's happened more times than I can count. It's like people, it's like sometimes like whenever I first applied to Shopify, I didn't get in.
Wow.
Yeah. And that happens for like lots of people, but it's like, okay, well then what have you done since?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, of course, if it's like we had someone that we were on the fence with, and we maybe went with a candidate with like, let's say, a little bit more experience in like this area, or like it was down to the wire and we went in this direction. It's like, of course we would come back to someone else who showed those signals and has done some work to improve. Like we have Shopify is like, there's really high expectation here for like self-directed growth. And we talk about, kind of getting 1% better week over week, or however you want to measure that. So people that have showed that, just that behavior, like outside, like, yeah, happy to have you back in a bit if the timing's off the first time.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that too. It's really showing like, hey, I'm taking your feedback to heart. I'm referencing something that you told me, so I care about your opinion. We're in a relationship here together. I think that's another thing that really builds trust too. I love that.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
And play the long game.
Play the long game.
Yeah.
We've only got a couple minutes left. Of course, anyone bang in any last minute questions if you have them. I feel like we've covered a lot. I definitely hope the goal was achieved, Jane, of like people taking away something from this that's constructive, that can help them.
Yeah, I hope so. It's just like, how you're showing up at interviews or effort in applications, like how to present your work. I hope, that you can take something away at least. And it's valuable use of everyone's time.
Get a hockey stick.
A fine ballpoint pen. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Might be hard for design. Yeah, you have to write like maybe a web address on there or something of like, check my folio.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that'll work.
So if somebody had, let me ask you this, Jane, like if somebody had like 2 or 3 hours this week to improve maybe their, just to improve their chances of getting a job. So that's very broad on purpose. Like what do you think they should be investing their time in if they have a limited amount of time?
Go build something.
Yeah.
Like go pull up like Claude Code or like Lovable or something like that and just build something. You would be shocked at what you could come up with. And then post it. I don't care if you're on X or you're on social media in whatever form it is, just like you have, I don't know, no one, we as recruiters don't care. It's like if people have 2 followers or like 2 million, it's like if you're putting yourself out there and we can see that, just like do that. And then it's a great resource for you to point back to as you like build your portfolio and your resume and stuff. You're like, here's a whole bunch of my stuff that you can see. And you can get a bunch of stuff done in 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the beauty of modern technology today, right?
Great piece of advice. I love that. Just go build something.
Honestly.
And then post it. Share it. Put it out, broadcast it somewhere.
Yeah. And I like that too, because like for designers, that's their strength. That's what they like to do, right? Like,
share it.
Let's go design something. Let's build something. It's great.
Awesome. Well, we're pretty much at time, and I know we've all got hard stops.
Any final words for everybody before you go?
Me?
Yeah.
Thanks. This is my first time doing a podcast. So thanks everyone for listening, and best of luck in your searches, and hope everyone has a great day.
Find Jane on LinkedIn, find Jane on Twitter.
Oh yes, sure. I am so bad at this. I'm like, sure, at LinkedIn. And if there's any other questions that didn't get covered today, just like put them in the comments from this event post and I can answer them.
We can come back in and answer, and that would be amazing. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing everything and just peeling back the curtain a bit, giving a bit of inside baseball on the beast that is Shopify. Kelly's going to go off and build. I love that.
Oh yeah, she's going to apply for the design apprentice. Do it. It's an insane opportunity.
Yeah. I caught up with 2 of the apprentices the other day in New York. They were loving it. They were presenting to the group. It was really fun. Thank you, Jane.
Yeah,
Thank you, boys, Joanne.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Yeah, hit the button. Bye.